Everyone to Clause by Clause, C10, here at the Standing Committee of Canadian Heritage. To people listening to us, viewing us from afar on the web, on the internet. Apologies, we had a technical problem there at the beginning. We are now overdue, obviously, but nevertheless, here we are, and we're going to resume our consideration of clause by clause under what we have received from the House of Commons and the procedure that we are going through. Before I get into that, however, I want to address something that was raised by Mr. Waugh about a motion of his. And I seem to indicate Friday would be okay. Unfortunately, in this case, we cannot do this since we are now under the ruling that came from the House. We're proceeding with the debate and the clause by clause. However, that being said, I just wanted to bring it up also because I want to assure you that since you already brought it up, that obviously it fits within the confines of the 48 hours rule. Therefore, when we finish with C10 and we have time left over, why don't the first order of business be your motion once that is done? And just to give everyone a heads up that when we end, we will go to Mr. Waugh's motion. So please, you have received Mr. Waugh's motion to give it your due consideration before that meeting arrives. But following the finish of this particular bill, we'll go into Mr. Waugh's motion. Okay, and I think that's about it. Before we start, I just also wanted to remind everyone about some of the rules that we have here. We cannot engage in debate. There can be no amendments or sub-amendments as directed by the majority of the House of Commons on a ruling that took place last week on time allocation. So therefore, as we go through this, the only time that you will hear me talk more than perhaps you desired, nevertheless, is when I make a ruling on a particular amendment. All the amendments that you have received in your package will be discussed. If I need to make a ruling, I will do so, and I will explain to the best of my ability as to why, if it is inadmissible. I promise you, since there is no opportunity to talk about the particular motion by the person who moved it, I will pause. There will be hopefully not awkward silence, but nevertheless, I will pause, take time for all of you to consider, because you do have the option to appeal, and you can challenge the chair's ruling. We've already done that once, but I felt at the time I was probably moving a little bit too quickly, and for that I apologize. So what I will do is, if I have to make a ruling on inadmissibility, I will take a pause, and you can decide whether you want to appeal that ruling. So let's go back to where we were. We are now moving.
Just a point of order.
Point of order for Mr. Jennis. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I wasn't here for the last consideration of this. I guess I'm a bit confused about one point, which is normally committees are masters of their own domains. They set their own rules. And we're operating, though, now under a framework of a House order where the committee is constrained in terms of what it can do. In the past, when committees have operated under a House order around time allocation on amendments, they have in every case abided by the House order in terms of not allowing amendments to be moved. But we're in a situation now where the committee has overruled your ruling on that and is arguably defying a House order. So I'm not sure if the committee can do that, can overrule a House order. But then, like you've just told a number of things that we have to do vis-a-vis the House order. So if members of the committee have decided through a challenge to the chair that they're not going to abide by the House order, then it raises lots of questions. But one of them is, why does the committee have to adhere to any of the House orders?
Well,
so I guess that's what
it does, Mr. Jennis, and I appreciate your argument. I really do. But I think at first blush, I would have to say this is an argument I think you should probably make in front of the House. As per their order, I do have these instructions. When I get challenged, I have to rule the other way. I don't have much more scope than that, other than the debates, the amendments, the sub-amendments that may follow, as I said. if I make a ruling and it's overruled, I have nowhere to go but the other direction. Obviously, this is no reflection on your argument whatsoever, other than the fact that you may be right on target, but I think you're wide of the mark as to where your argument may be best put.
Okay,
and I can get back to you on that. By the way, I can, if we have obviously a 3-hour meeting, we're going to have a break at some point, I assume. So during that break, I will confer with the legislative about your point. But at first blush, I think your argument probably well placed within the context of the House of Commons.
Yeah. So just a follow up point of order then. From what I understand, in terms of the ground rules you've laid out at the beginning, the committee can, by majority at any point, overrule those ground rules if they challenge the chair, and if that puts us at odds with the House order, again, I mean, we're already potentially at odds with the House order, but you're saying those are arguments that can be made or not made in the House, and they can't be made here, essentially, because you have to just follow, you have to adhere to challenges, whatever they say.
Yeah, I'll consult on that as well, yeah. Mr. Janice. Okay. I will, I promise.
Thank you.
But in the meantime, when it comes to challenging of the chair, like I said, I have two ways to go. I can either stick with my original ruling or go the opposite the other way, which I did the last time. Further to that, I don't know what to tell you other than the fact that we can't allow debate, we can't allow amendment, and those are pretty crystal clear from the ruling that we received from the majority of the House. But I do thank you for your point of order, and I will look into it during the first break. That being said, we've left off. We're now at G13N. G13N. Okay. Madam Clerk.
G13N, Ms. DeBrusen.
Yes.
Madame Bissette.
Oui.
Mr. Batiste.
Yes.
Ms. Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
Oui.
Mr. Aitchison.
Yes.
Mr. Genuis.
Oui.
Mr. Waugh.
Yes.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
11 yeas. 0 nays.
Okay, I declare G13 carried. And that's it for Clause 8. Off we go. So that being completed, we now call for the vote on Clause 8 of Bill C-10.
As amended, Mr. Chair?
As amended, yes, indeed. He keeps reminding me. I keep forgetting that we change things around here. Okay. Clause 8 as amended. Should it carry? Madam Clerk.
No.
Ms. DeBrusen.
Yes.
Madame Bissette.
Oui.
Mr. Batiste.
Yes.
Ms. Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Genuis.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Sorry, I apologize. Yes.
Thank you very much. Seven yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause carried. And now, with that, we are off to Clause 9. And this brings us to, put forward by Mr. Reyes, this is CPC 10.1. Shall CPC 10.1 carry?
Nope.
I see a no. I hear a no. Madam Clerk.
CPC 10.1, Ms. DeBrusen.
No.
Madame Bessette,
No.
Mr. Housefather,
No.
Ms. Ian,
No.
Mr. Lewis,
No.
Monsieur Reyes,
Oui.
Mr. Aitchison,
Yes.
Mr. Genuous,
Wait.
Mr. Waugh,
Yes.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Ms. McPherson,
Yes.
six yeas, 5 nays.
Sorry, could sorry, Madam Clerk, I just didn't hear the vote count again. Could you
My
repeat that?
apologies. 6
No, it's mine.
yeas, 5 nays.
Okay, I declare the amendment carried. Which brings us to the end of Clause 9. So, Clause 9, as amended, shall Clause 9 as amended carry?
Yes.
No.
Okay, Madam Clerk?
Clause 9 is amended. Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Ms. Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Genuous,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Ms. McPherson,
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause carried as amended. Now, with that, we are into Clause 10. The first one we are dealing with is PV 24. This is the first of the PVs, and as I've ruled on earlier, of course, the amendments from the Green Party are automatically deemed moved due to an order that we decided upon at the beginning of this Parliament, and I wish to discuss it. So PV 24. What PV 24 attempts to do is that it removes the discretionary power of the CRTC, and it makes the regulations when needed to force the CRTC to make, in all cases, refer to it. And this refers to Section 11.11 of the Act. And as a result of this power, it was not originally envisioned in C10 itself. So that being said, according to, and I forget the page number, page 770 of the features of the House goes beyond the principle and scope of the bill. And for those of you, just to repeat how that works, that is, this bill has been accepted in second reading, which means we accept the principles and the scope by which the bill puts out there. Therefore, what this particular amendment does is go beyond the principle and scope of the bill, which we've already voted on. Therefore, it exceeds the will of the House in this particular case. So I have to make the ruling that PV 24 is inadmissible. Just taking a moment to reflect. Hope everybody's well. Okay. That brings us to, if you go back to your hymn books, we go back to Lib 8. Lib 8, moved by Mr. Housefather. Lib 8, carry. I see a no. Okay.
No.
Madam Clerk.
On Lib 8, Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Ms. Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes?
No.
Mr. Aitchison?
No.
Mr. Genuis?
No.
Mr. Waugh?
No.
Monsieur Champoux?
Oui.
Ms. McPherson?
Yes.
Seven yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the amendment carried. Now we go to BQ 28. BQ 28, put forward by Mr. Champoux. Shall BQ 28 carry?
No.
Seeing
No.
a no, Madam Clerk.
BQ 28, Ms. DeBruson?
No.
Madame Bessette?
No.
Mr. Housefather?
No.
Ms. Ian?
No.
Mr. Lewis?
No.
Monsieur Reyes?
No.
Mr. Aitchison?
No.
Mr. Genuis?
No.
Mr. Waugh?
No.
Monsieur Champoux?
Oui.
Ms. McPherson?
Oui.
Nine nays, 2 yeas.
I declare the amendment negatived. Okay, this brings us to Lib 9. I forgot to mention off the top for anyone just joining us, by the way, when I say Lib and I say these titles as like on similar to what you'd hear at bingo, essentially what this is that I said Lib. Lib is an amendment that's put forward by the Liberal Party. CPC and the number would be put forward by the Conservative members of the committee. BQ would be put forward by the Bloc Québécois members. NDP and a number would be from the New Democrats on the committee, New Democrat on the committee. And of course, PV, Parti Vert, would be from the amendments put forward and deemed moved by the Green Party, primarily Mr. Manley. And finally, G, which means it's an amendment put forward by the government. Okay, that being said, as I mentioned, we're on Lib 9, put forward by Mr. Housefather. Just a note before you start, I'll say this slowly. Lib 9, if Lib 9 is adopted, if this is adopted, BQ 29 becomes moot as they both contain the same provision. So they are similar enough such that you are both voting on Lib 9 and BQ 29. Okay, everybody clear? So officially it's Lib 9 we're voting on. Shall Lib 9 carry?
No.
Oh, hearing a no. Madam Clerk.
Lib 9, Ms. DeBruson?
Yes.
Madame Bessette?
Oui.
Mr. Housefather?
Oui.
Ms. Ian?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes?
Oui.
Mr. Aitchison?
Yes.
Mr. Genuis?
Yes.
Mr. Waugh?
Yes.
Mr. Champoux?
No.
Ms. McPherson?
Yes.
10 yeas, 1 nay.
Okay. I declare Lib 9 carried. And if you notice on your charts there, BQ 29 is now out because they're roughly the same thing. I said roughly, Mr. Champoux. That brings us to BQ 30, put forward by Mr. Champoux. Shall BQ 30 carry?
No.
Madam Clerk?
BQ 30, Ms. DeBruson?
No.
Madame Bessette?
No.
Mr. Housefather?
No.
Ms. Ian?
No.
Mr. Lewis?
No.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Genuis,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Champoux,
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
9 nays, 2 yeas.
I declare the amendment negatived. Okay. That brings us to the end of Clause 10, which begs the question, as you're all expecting. Shall Clause 10, as amended, carry?
No.
Madam Clerk.
Clause 10 is amended. Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Ms. Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Rey.
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Genuis, Mr. Genuis, Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 10, as amended, carried. Which brings us to Clause 11. And seeing no amendments, we go straight to the vote.
No.
Shall clause? No, I appreciate the enthusiasm, Mr. Reyes. Like, honestly, I do. I was in opposition too. Shall Clause 11 carry? Sorry.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Oh, that's what I was waiting for. Sorry. In case I didn't hear it the first time, right? Madam Clerk.
Clause 11, Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Ms. Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Genuis,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause carried. Now we're on to Clause 12. And we do have some amendments for Clause 12. We have BQ 31 put forward by Mr. Champoux, but there is a note. Before you vote, I want everyone to be aware that if BQ 30 is adopted, then PV 25 becomes moot as it contains the same provisions as BQ 31. So that's PV 25, which would normally fall later, but of course similar to BQ 31. So essentially you're voting on both. That being said, BQ 31, shall it carry?
No.
Madam Clerk.
No.
BQ 31, Mr. Bruson,
No.
Madame Bessette,
No.
Mr. Housefather,
No.
Ms. Ian,
No.
Mr. Lewis,
No.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Genuis,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
2 yeas, 9 nays.
I declare the amendment negatived, and I declare the same for PV 25 negatived. And those were the only amendments for Clause 12. So therefore, we go directly to the clause vote. Shall clause 12 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Clause 12, Ms. de Bruson.
Yes.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
Ms. Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Genuis.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Yes.
Seven yeas, 4 nays.
Declare the clause carried. All right, we now go on to new clause 12.1. And in 12.1, we have G14. 1 second, folks. I'm just getting my notes. So that's G14, put forward by Ms. de Brusen. Shall G14 carry?
No.
Yes.
Madam Clerk.
G14, Ms. de Bruson.
Yes.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
Ms. Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Mr. Reyes. Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Genuis.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays. Mr. Sims, 7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the amendment carried. I apologize. I was on mute. Doing it carried. Now which brings us to the end now of just want to check with my legislative clerk. We're calling on clause 13. Is that correct, Mr. Mello?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you very much. Just want a clarification. So that brings us to the end. Shall clause 13 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
On clause 13, Ms. de Bruson.
Yes.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
I'm sorry, that was we?
C'était un oui.
C'était un oui. Parfait, merci. Ms. Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Genuis.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Oui.
Seven yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause carried as amended.
Mr. Chair.
1 moment. Yes, Mr. Miller.
Clause 13 was not amended. It was just
Oh, it was
straight vote on the clause.
12.1. Yes, I apologize. Sorry, it was a straight up clause. That was in the last one that we carried. That was considered 12.1. Thank you, Mr. Miller. Thank you for pointing that out. Thank goodness for smart people. Nevertheless, we're moving on. Yes, clause 13 carried. We now move on to the next, and that would bring us to CPC 11. CPC 11. Okay.
Monsieur le Président, Mr. Chairman, point of order. I'd like to know whether it's possible for me to withdraw CPC 11, that we do not vote on it. I had tabled this, but I don't want to make a sub-amendment. So I'm just asking to withdraw it. Maybe I need unanimous consent to do so?
Declared what it was, so I'm going to, which is now deemed moved. So you'll have to have unanimous consent to do that. Does Mr. Reyes have unanimous consent to withdraw CPC 11?
Yes.
We.
Okay, I don't hear any no's, therefore withdrawn. I just want to remind everyone again
Merci.
pas de problème, monsieur. I just wanted to remind everyone, I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but if there are amendments later on in the package of amendments that you wish to withdraw, you can do that at any time. If you've put them forward, you just let the clerk know that you wish to withdraw that particular amendment. And I say that because they haven't been deemed moved yet. So therefore, but once I move it, then requires unanimous consent. In that particular example, I had declared we were on CPC 11, deemed moved. That's why we needed unanimous consent. But if there is an amendment further along that you don't want to put forward, then I suggest you just contact the clerk and have it withdrawn. You don't need unanimous consent. Okay. That brings us to, well, now it's 11.1. And I'm going to our legislative clerk. I'm assuming that we're going ahead to 11.1. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay, thank you. We are now going to 11.1. So in 11.1, we had a great deal of conversation about it. It does amend the Broadcasting Act in many ways. The amendment proposes to amend part of the act related to licenses. And that's, in this particular case, we're talking about amendments to license, not a bill they rendered necessary by other adopted amendments. And I just want to read to you something that is on page 771 of House Procedures. And it says, quote, an amendment is inadmissible if it proposes to amend a statute that is not before the committee or a section of the parent act unless the latter is specifically amended by a clause of the bill. So what we're doing here, we're talking about the parent act in the case of the Broadcasting Act, but in C10, it doesn't discuss this particular way of amending. So therefore, I have to rule it inadmissible as it goes beyond the principle and scope of the bill that we agreed to on C10, which was accepted in the House at second reading.
Mr.
I'll
Chair.
just pause there.
Yeah, I would like to challenge your ruling.
Okay, thank you.
And if I correctly understand the rules, they don't allow me to make arguments for that.
I'm afraid
challenge.
not. I'm afraid not. That's no reflection on your abilities, sir.
Yeah, and my challenge is no reflection on yours, Mr. Chair.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, so before we do I just want everyone to understand how this vote goes. And the clerk actually is a better way of explaining it than I do. She's very good at it. Go ahead, Madam Clerk. No pressure.
The question is, shall the ruling of the chair be sustained? So if you vote yay, you agree with the chair and the ruling will be sustained. It will be, I believe it was outside the scope or inadmissible, but it would sustain the chair's ruling. If you vote nay, then you'll be able to vote on this amendment.
Sorry, point of order. Madam Clerk, can you just elaborate on that explanation? I just want to understand fully because it's important. Thank you.
Of course. So shall the chair's decision be sustained? If you agree, you say yes, and there'll be no vote on this amendment. If the question is shall the chair's decision be sustained and you vote nay, then we'll proceed with the vote on this amendment.
So remember what I said earlier. If the decision is mostly nays and my decision is not sustained, we'll just do the other side. We just go straight in the opposite direction, which is we will consider the amendment. But the question again is, should my decision be sustained? Go ahead. Sorry, Madam Clerk.
That's okay. Is the question clearly understood?
Non. Oui, on a bien compris. Oui.
Yes, we have understood, but I'm still going to vote no.
Sorry, what was that, Madam Clerk? I didn't
Did you want me to proceed with the vote, sir?
Yes, please.
Sorry. Okay, that's what I was waiting for.
Okay, sorry.
Shall the decision of the chair be sustained? Ms. DeBruson on CPC 11.1. Ms. DeBruson.
Yes.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
No.
Non, tu vois, Housefather non plus, il va pas. Je suis à lui.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Housefather.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, so I vote no, if in case I didn't.
Yes, sir. Ms. Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
Non.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Genuis.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
No.
Ms. McPherson.
No.
Four yeas, 7 nays.
Therefore, the ruling is not sustained, and off we go. 11.1. Now, does everybody understand where we are now? I don't want to move on without anybody's misunderstanding, but what's happening, these things happen fast. We're charting new territory. Do not be afraid to jump in if you have a quick question. Okay, we are now going to 11.1 as the ruling was not sustained. Therefore, we go to a vote. Shall 11.1 carry?
No.
Madam Clerk.
On the question of CBC 11.1, Mr. Bruson.
Nope.
Madame Bessette.
No.
Mr. Housefather.
No.
Ms. Ian.
No.
Mr. Lewis.
No.
Monsieur Reyes.
Oui.
Mr. Aitchison.
Yeah.
Mr. Genuis.
Yes.
Mr. Waugh.
Yes.
Monsieur Champoux.
No.
Ms. McPherson.
No.
Sorry. 4 yeas, 7 nays.
Yep, I declare the amendment negatived. Now, with on the advice of legislative clerk, if you'll jump in here, I am moving to 11.2. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much. Okay. So 11.2, this may sound eerily familiar, but the amendment proposes to amend the part of the act related to licenses. Yet once again, and in the House of Commons procedure and practice, this is the third edition I'm speaking of, from page 771. We have an amendment is inadmissible if it proposes to amend a statute that is not before the committee or a section of the Parent Act unless the latter is specifically amended by a clause in the bill. I just mentioned that was eerily familiar because this is the same as the ruling before. However, I'm compelled to do it since it's before us. Since the part is related to licenses, and we're talking about Section 22 of the Broadcasting Act, is not being amended by C10. So as I mentioned earlier, same genuine understanding. It was not touched upon in C10. We voted that on principle. Therefore, we'd be exceeding the scope of the bill if in committee we went and amended something else in the act that was not talked about or addressed by C10, not addressed by C10. And here we are doing an amendment that wasn't. I really hope that sounded clear enough for everybody. I'm not sure if it was or not, but nevertheless.
It was clear, but not convincing. I'm challenging the chair.
Okay, all right. That's, you know what, I accept that actually. That's fine. So that is that. We've without even pausing. Apparently, there's a challenge to the ruling. Madam Clerk, go ahead.
So we're going to do the same thing again. Shall the chair's decision be sustained? If you agree that the amendment shall not be voted, you vote yay to sustain the chair's decision. If you agree that the amendment should be voted on, you vote nay, and we proceed to the vote on the amendment. Shall the decision of the chair be sustained? On CPC 11.2, Ms. DeBruson.
Nope.
Madame Bissett.
No.
Mr. Housefather.
No.
Ms. Ian.
No.
Mr. Lewis.
No.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Can I just verify? Mr. Shields, are you present? No. Mr. Genuous.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
No.
Ms. McPherson.
No.
11 nays.
11 nays against the decision, against the ruling. Okay. Table for one for this chair. I'm kidding. Okay, so move on, shall we? CPC 11.2. Shall it carry?
No.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
CPC 11.2, Ms. DeBruson.
No.
Madame Bissett.
No.
Mr. Housefather.
No.
Ms. Ian.
No.
Mr. Lewis.
No.
Monsieur Reyes.
Oui.
Mr. Aitchison.
Yes.
Mr. Genuous.
Yes.
Mr. Waugh.
Yes.
Monsieur Champoux.
No.
Ms. McPherson.
No.
0 yeas, 4 yeas, apologies. 7 nays.
I declare the amendment negative. That's Lib 9.1. Brace yourselves. This may shock you all, but I have something to say.
I challenge the chair.
I appreciate eagerness. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like in the for this particular democratic function, I should probably explain as to why
But you're not reading the amendments, Mr. Chair. With all due respect, I mean,
yes, no, I understand.
You're reading a ruling,
but
but not reading the amendment.
I understand, Mr. Jennings. I understand that. I know these are strange times indeed, and sometimes I feel the same way you do. However, I feel like I must, and I'll make this brief if that helps. The amendment is inadmissible if it proposes to amend a statute that is not before the committee or a section of the parent act unless the latter is specifically amended by a clause of the bill. And again, this pertains to changes in the Broadcasting Act to section 22. Therefore, I cannot allow this to be admissible. I deem it to be inadmissible. And what say you?
I challenge you, Mr. Chair.
I'm shocked. Okay. Amy, over to you.
Shall the decision of the chair be sustained? Mr.
No.
Prusen.
Oh, no.
Madame Bissett.
No.
Mr. Housefather.
No.
Miss Ian.
No.
Mr. Lewis.
No.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Genuous.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Mr. Champoux.
No.
Ms. McPherson.
No.
11 nays, 0 yeas.
Okay, so overturned. I'm sitting alone at the head of the table.
Would
Okay, because I was starting to feel like I was in a North Korean cabinet meeting, but nevertheless, Mr. Reyes, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Chair, you are the best chair I've ever seen manage a group like this one. And after 3 very tough decisions, tough on you, I'm wondering if there's anything we can deliver to you, have delivered to you so that you can keep your smiles going until the end of the meeting. If so, then, we can send you flowers, something to drink, just to say that I'm feeling some compassion towards you. Delivery costs a lot. He's living in Newfoundland.
That's a valid point. Yes, here we are in the North Atlantic. Okay, that's not a point of order, I'm afraid. However, the generosity is well appreciated. I really do. Yeah.
Mr. Chair?
Okay. Point of order, Mr. Jennings.
Yes, I would like to move a sub-amendment to the amendment for Mr. Housefather.
I'm afraid we don't allow sub-amendments, sir. The orders from the House dictate I cannot do that.
I'd like to challenge your ruling that I can't submit a sub-amendment.
I'm afraid you can't do that, sir. We have strict orders from the House. Again, as I mentioned to you earlier about dealing with the House. What I'm going to do right now is I got to go towards the vote as the challenge was done. Once I make a ruling like that, it's been challenged, it's been overturned. I have to go straight to a vote.
No, Mr. Chair, on the point of order, though, the challenge was whether the amendment was admissible. The challenge has been overruled, which it means that the amendment is admissible.
Okay,
now that the amendment, just let me finish the point of order. The amendment has now been submitted, and I would like to submit a sub-amendment to the amendment before it goes to a vote. Now, we have in the past had cases where you made a ruling based on your view of the House order, but that was overruled by the chair. But pardon me, but that was overruled by the committee. So you have again made a ruling based on your understanding of the House order, which was that a sub-amendment is not admissible. I am challenging your ruling that a sub-amendment is not admissible. And so let's vote on the challenge, and then if the challenge is sustained, then I can't submit this sub-amendment. But if it's not, then I can.
I understand, Mr. Jennings. And I think what one thing, just what I'm going to do is I'll consult with the legislative clerk. As I said I would do it earlier, I tell you what, I'll do it now. I'm afraid I have to go to this vote because that's part of the rules as well. Like you can't challenge on that particular, once the ruling takes place and is challenged, it's voted on, I have to go directly to that. But I will say this, once that's completed, I will consult with the legislative clerk to discuss that, because what has happened here is that when the ruling is challenged on my admissibility, it's not discussed in the directions from the House. However, it's quite clear as to where we can go about amendments or any other sub-amendments to that. So what I'm going to do is we have to go to a vote, as was expected from 9.1. Mr. Jennings, no, I'm going to do this right now because
it's a sub-amendment to 9.1.
I'm already overdue on this vote, so I got to have 9.1 voted on.
Mr. Chair,
right now.
It is an amendment sub-amendment to this amendment. So you can't have a vote on the amendment.
Okay,
when I'm
Mr.
seeking to make a sub-amendment to that amendment.
Okay, to satisfy your concerns, how about I go to the legislative clerk right now?
But prior to the vote.
We'll stop.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
And only because you asked.
Thank you.
I'll just be 1 sec. Okay, everyone, can we suspend for just a few minutes? If I can keep everyone sort of on screen, or you can go off screen, but listen for my voice when we come back, because I don't think it'll be too long. Thank you. Okay, I see everybody. Now I do. Okay. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Mr. Jennings, thank you for your intervention. So, as I suspected, yes, but I'll just further explain why it is we're doing this in the case of overturning a challenge on a ruling and not in the case of an amendment that you're putting forward. When it comes to the motion itself, now the first part talks about the 5-hour debate, which has expired. That's fine. That's been satisfied. But in the second part of the motion that came from the House, we have to go by the strict orders that were given to us. And I bring your attention, if you have it in front of you, to the last sentence where it said, or the last part of the sentence, in turn, every question necessary for the disposal of the said stage of the bill shall be put forthwith and successively without further debate or further amendment. So what I did earlier was I ruled on the challenge, or I ruled and then challenge was made and it was overturned. But these are regarding amendments that already exist. Either they were deemed moved by the Green Party, or they were put forward by when a challenge was made. But these are all amendments that were previously placed with us. Therefore, that applies because there is nothing in this motion that considers options of motions that were already handed into us. What it does say quite explicitly is this at the end, again, forthwith and successively without further debate or amendment, which is what you are proposing, which I have to rule is out of order. In which case, I now have to go.
Mr. Chair, I challenge the ruling you just made.
Mr. Jennings, no.
Mr. Chair, you can't refuse the challenge to the chair.
Hold on, one second. I'm just providing clarification, I think was what you wanted.
No,
right? Here's what I'm going to do. Rather than engage in this further, how about I bring someone else in? Maybe that will, Mr. Mela, perhaps you'd like to bring some light onto this. And I think what he's going to explain to you is about the situation. You have a problem, obviously, with the motion, which was dealt with in the House. So, Mr. Mela, if you please. Now, Mr. Jennings, please.
Can I just clarify my position?
No.
I'm happy to hear from him. Okay. Look, my position is that this committee has already defied the House order because the House order said without further amendment. And the amendments were not moved at committee. Notice had been given of those amendments, but those amendments had not been moved at committee. So my position is that if the committee is able to defy a House order, then it is able to defy a House order. That you can't say, there's a challenge from a Liberal member seeking to overturn a ruling and allow defying the House order, but that's going to be.
I understand what you're saying. I think we get the gist of your argument, Mr. Mela.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Can you hear me properly?
Yes, we can.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Jennings, I think there are two things to consider. There is the 5-hour mark before and after. What the chair did at the arrival of the 5-hour mark was basically to interpret what the motion of the House was saying in terms of what the amendments present in the package, how to consider them. Were they either deemed moved or they were just in the package staying there, and what to do with them. Since the motion of the House is silent on these ones, the chair made two rulings. The first one was on the amendment from the Green Party, and those ones are, generally speaking, deemed moved. So these ones were considered by the chair, and there was no overturning of that ruling. And then the chair made a second ruling considering the rest of the amendments, and he proposed that they would be not proposed by the committee, and the committee overturned that decision, and that's why we are now voting on all the rest of the amendments plus the Green Party amendments. Now your question on to add a sub-amendment at the present time. This is clearly specified in the motion of the House, in the last part of the paragraph. It says, and in turn, every question necessary for the disposal of such stage of the bill shall be put forthwith and successively without further debate or amendment. So I think there is before the mark of the 5 hours and after, and now clearly we are in the past 5. And therefore, no other amendment can be proposed, or a sub-amendment for that matter. And in this case, I would simply suggest that you bring it to the floor of the House, because you can't appeal an order of the House, basically.
So,
Mr. Mela,
Mr. Jennings, one moment, please. This is a clarification about the fact that your challenge lies with the House of Commons. It doesn't lie with this particular committee. That's what Mr. Mela is trying to say. I cannot spend more time on this as we got to get moving. I have explicit orders from the House to do this. Now, I'm sorry. I appreciate your argument. I do. And
the amendments were not moved, though.
Please, we can't raise our voices, first of all. Okay, we can't just, I need to move on. We've just addressed it now 3 times over about the particular problems that you have about this. Now we have to move on.
Mr. Chair, I have a
now,
point
folks,
of order,
I'm
and I would like
question.
to be heard on my point of order.
Is there something new to bring to this, Mr. Jennings?
Mr. Chair, yes, insofar as it responds to what Mr. Mela has said. What happened at the last meeting was that you made a ruling that the amendments had not been moved. Therefore, the House order obliged you not to allow them to be moved after the fact. That was your ruling. That ruling was challenged and overturned. Now you are making a ruling, again, that is substantively the same as your last ruling, which is that the House order does not allow further amendment. Those earlier amendments had not been moved. And it's clear in the way you're talking about this. Every time an amendment is moved, you're saying this amendment has now been moved. In fact, you said earlier in the meeting to Mr. Reyes that an amendment that can be withdrawn before it is moved, but it is deemed moved once you read it. So you just can't not allow a challenge when you allowed a challenge before on the same
Mr.
point.
Jennings, I'm going to allow Mr. Mela to deal with your point. Mr. Mela, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not sure I can add more than what I explained earlier. The motion of the House, as I indicated earlier, is silent when it comes to the amendments that were in the package. So at the end of the day, the committee decided to be able to consider all the amendments that were in the package before the committee at that point, because the motion of the House was silent on that particular point. When it comes to amendment and sub-amendment, at this point now, the motion of the House is clear and indicates there cannot be any further debate or amendment or sub-amendment. So I think there is a slight difference between the 2 rulings that were made by the chair. One to precise something that was maybe missing in the House, and the one now that is clear from the House order.
Mr. Mela, I just have one question for you.
Thank you, Mr. Jennings. Mr. Jennings.
You've said
Mr. Jennings, hold on. You can't talk unless I recognize you, please. Okay. Please. I'm assuming that you want to point a clarification on what was just said.
Yes.
Then may I humbly ask that you be very quick about it.
Mr. Mela, you said that in your view there is a difference between these 2 rulings. Is there any basis in which a ruling of the chair cannot be challenged? Because you called his second ruling a ruling, which it is. And if it's a ruling, then it might be the correct ruling, it might not be. But my understanding of the powers of members of committees is that they have the power to challenge any ruling of the chair. Is that correct?
Mr. Mela.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Generally speaking, I would say yes to that. But here we are under the purview of a House order. And that's where we are at. I don't think that when you say the chair made a ruling, is the chair basically is following what the House order is.
Yeah. So
which basically tells no further amendment or no further debate.
Mr. Janice, I appreciate your comments. I truly do. And I think maybe you want to bring it up with the House. You're certainly entitled to do that. But this is our interpretation of how we have to proceed based on the motion we have received from the House on this time allocation. I thank you for that. We now go on to Lib 9.1. Shall Lib, does everyone need to pause? Shall Lib 9.1 carry? Okay, seeing no pushback. I declare Lib 9.1 carried. Okay, so now we're moving on to Clause 14 to Clause 17. There are no amendments, so I will call for the votes on particular amendments individually. Ready? We're starting with Clause 14.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Shall Clause 14 carry? No.
Yes.
Okay,
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Janice,
Pardon me. No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Shampoo,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
Okay, I declare the clause carried. Shall Clause 15 carry?
No.
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Shampoo,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 15 carried. Shall Clause 16 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Shampoo,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause carried. That brings us now to Clause 17. Shall Clause 17 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Champoux,
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause carried.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Chairman? Yes, Mr. Reyes? I don't know if this is a point of order, but my body is demanding a 5-minute break. I don't know how to make this request. I don't know the appropriate terminology, but I would like a 5-minute health break, please.
Up to a 5-minute break, and I'll look for everyone's face to come back on screen before reconvening, but I ask that you please keep it with 5 minutes. Therefore, we are now suspended. Okay, welcome back, everybody. We left off at clause 18. Yes, that is correct. We left off at clause 18. So we're starting with, if you look at your package, it's PV 26. And I need to say this about PV 26 before we proceed any further. So providing the Governing Council to be able to review a decision made by the CRTC, and that's under Section 9 of the Act, that is in Bill C-10. The amendment in this particular case expands this power to the orders that the CRTC may make under Section 9.1 of the Act, which is not envisioned in the bill. So again, we go back to page 770 of House of Commons Procedure and Practice. Beyond the scope of the bill, yet once again, PV 26 expands the power of the Governor and Council, the Cabinet. That is beyond the scope of the bill. So that would have to be my ruling on PV 26. Therefore, I have to rule that it is inadmissible. Okay.
Monsieur le Président, je vais contester.
Mr. Chair, I will challenge your decision.
Okay, Madam Clerk, and please explain to just about the vote about sustaining the decision of the chair. I think everybody knows now how to do this, but I think it bears repeating. Thank you.
So if a member agrees with the ruling, the vote should be yes. If a member disagrees with the ruling, the vote should be no. So the question is, shall the decision of the chair be sustained? Shall I proceed with the vote?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
No.
Miss Ian,
No.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Champoux,
No.
Miss McPherson,
No.
Three yeas, 8 nays.
Okay, we now go to PV 26. Following things, so I just want to point out before we do PV 26, if PV 26 is adopted, NDP 13 cannot be moved as it is identical. And if PV 26 is negatived, so is NDP 13 for the same reason. And if PV 26 is adopted, BQ 32 cannot be moved due to a line conflict. So essentially, if PV 26 is adopted, BQ 32 becomes problematic to adopt that because it's based on older wording. Okay?
Question de...
I have a question, point of clarification, please, Mr. Chair.
Si...
Just for my own edification, perhaps I misunderstood. So if PV 26 is negatived, could BQ 32 still be proposed? Could we still vote on it?
That's correct.
Donc, si...
So if PV 26 is negatived, we will vote on BQ 32. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. If it's negatived, PV 26, we will vote on BQ 32.
Merci,
okay?
Monsieur le Président.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We're all here to learn. Okay, that being said, PV 26, shall PV 26 carry?
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
No.
Madame Bessette,
No.
Mr. Housefather,
No.
Miss Ian,
No.
Mr. Lewis,
No.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Champoux,
Avec mes excuses, tout le monde, mais non.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
1 yea, 10 nays.
Okay. I declare the amendment negatived. And as a result of that, I also have to negative NDP 13 as well as a result of that. Now, this may surprise you, Mr. Champoux, but your motion, we now vote on BQ 32. Okay, everyone ready? Shall BQ 32 carry?
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
No.
Madame Bessette,
No.
Mr. Housefather,
No.
Miss Ian,
No.
Mr. Lewis,
No.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Ms. McPherson,
Yes.
two yeas, 9 nays.
I declare BQ 32 negatived. That brings us to the end of that clause, which leads to the question. Shall clause 18 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
Two yeas, 9 nays.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
2 yeas, 9 nays.
I
My
think
apologies.
that's, yes.
Two
Okay. All right.
nays, 9 yeas. My apologies to everyone.
That's okay. That's all right. I declare clause 18 carried. Now we're on to clause 19. Shall clause 19 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
Okay. I declare the clause carried. Now we go to clause 20. And we're going to start with BQ 33, which was put forward by Mr. Champoux. Shall BQ 33 carry?
No. Sorry. No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
No.
Madame Bessette,
No.
Mr. Housefather,
No.
Miss Ian,
No.
Mr. Lewis,
No.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
Two yeas, 9 nays.
I declare the amendment negatived. Which now brings us to BQ 34. It's moved by Mr. Champoux. Shall BQ 34 carry?
No.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Bruson.
No.
Madame Bessette.
No.
Mr. Housefather.
No.
Miss Ian.
No.
Mr. Lewis.
No.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Shields.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
2 yeas, 9 nays.
I declare the amendment negatived. Which brings us to Clause 20, the end of Clause 20. Shall Clause 20 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk?
Division? No.
No.
What?
Good try.
Sorry. I was wondering where that was coming from. Okay, Madam Clerk, please, recorded vote.
Mr. Bruson.
No. That's right. I just lost this. We're on the clause, right?
Yeah. Shall Clause 20 carry?
Yes.
You're sure?
Absolutely sure.
All right, everybody. Let's go.
On division?
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
Miss Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
No. Sorry.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Shields.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause carried. That brings us to Clause 21. We're starting with G15, which was brought forward by Madame de Brusen. Shall G15 carry?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Oh, okay. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson.
Yes.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
Miss Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes. Mr. Reyes? Mr.
Sorry. I'm on mute. No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Shields.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the amendment carried. And that is the only one we have for Clause 21. Shall Clause 21 carry?
As
Yes.
amended?
As amended, my apologies, yes. As amended.
Yes.
No.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson.
Yes.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson,
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause carried. We now go to clause 22. Shall clause 22 carry?
Yes.
Oui.
No. No. Oui, excusez, oui.
I didn't hear any
It sounds
no's,
like it was
Mr.
all yeses, Mr. Chair.
What's that?
I believe it
Oh,
was
yeah.
all yeses.
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Chair.
Yes, there was all yeses. I'm so used to someone opposing. I just can't get over the fact that everyone was unanimous. That's no reflection on you. That's just my abilities. Therefore, I declare carried. My goodness. I was alone at the head of the table for so long.
Point d'ordre.
We.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. I don't want to challenge you another time, but it's not the first time there's been unanimity on this committee since we started clause by clause, so just want to reassure everyone.
Seen it in a while. Mr. Reyes, point taken. Okay, off we go, folks. We're now at clause 23. Now, if you look at your hymn book, you'll see that G16 is listed, but that was already carried. It was consequential to G9. So therefore, we're going to just move on from there because we're already by the consequences of the G9 vote to G16. So you can take that one out. Now, that brings us to BQ 35N. BQ 35N. And may I say, so this amends the Broadcasting Act, provides for a specific regime for the Commission to impose a penalty to the corporation, CBC, under the proposed new section 34.99. Now, the circumstances cannot be done without holding a public hearing. That's basically what the amendment is saying. The amendment aims at applying the same unique regime to a person carrying on a broadcasting undertaking, even though a different regime, and it does not contemplate a public hearing, is proposed in the bill under new proposed section 3492. And I'm afraid that this goes beyond the principle and scope of the bill. We're applying one to one, and you want to expand it to apply to the other, not envisioned within C10. So therefore, I have to rule that it is, according to page 770 of the House of Commons Procedure and Practice, I'm going to rule that it is inadmissible for the purposes of the principle and scope of Bill C10. I'm pausing. I'm not sure if ouch comprises a challenge or not. It's just a declaration of your pain. Is that right, Mr. Shumpert?
Exactly, yeah, Mr. Chair.
Okay, well, duly noted and Hansard forever. Okay, let's move along. We now go to NDP 14. NDP 14 put forward by Ms. McPherson. Just one thing to note about this is that if NDP 14 is adopted, BQ 36 cannot be moved simply because they're identical, as two great minds think alike. If NDP 14 is negatived, so is BQ 36, of course, which follows the same logic as I just said. So those two are linked, NDP 14 and BQ 36, but technically, officially, we are now voting on NDP 14. Shall NDP 14 carry?
Yes.
No. No.
No. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare NDP 14 carried, which in turn would also carry the same consequence for BQ 36. Congratulations, both of you. Which brings us to the end of the clause. Clause 23, shall clause 23 carry?
As amended, sir.
As amended, yes. Thank you, Mr. Clerk.
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 23 as amended carried. Now, that brings us to clause 24. Shall clause 24 carry?
Yes.
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
On division?
No.
Mr. Bruson,
Recorded vote.
Mr.
Yes.
Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Yes.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian, Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Thank you.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 24 carried. That brings us to clause 25. Now, within clause 25, you have, correct me if I'm wrong, Legislative Clerk, PV 26.1. Is that where we go next?
That's correct.
Thank you very much. So we're on to PV 26.1. For those watching us at home, PV is Parti Vert. This has been submitted by the Green Party by Mr. Manley. Shall PV 26.1 carry?
No. No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
No.
Madame Bessette,
No.
Mr. Housefather,
No.
Miss Ian,
No.
Mr. Lewis, Mr. Lewis,
No.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Champoux,
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
Two yeas, 9 nays.
I declare PV 26.1 negatived. And that brings me to CPC 12. Okay. Bill C10, it amends section 46 of the
Mr.
broadcast.
Chair, sorry to interrupt, Mr. Chair.
Oh, did I miss something? Yes.
CPC 12 was already ruled out. It was consequential to
Right.
CPC 9 and 10.
9 and 10, correct. Yes, that you were. Based on the ruling that was deemed earlier, that rules out CPC 12. Thank you very much for that. And that brings me to the end of clause 25. Is that correct, Mr. Clerk?
That is, yes.
All right. That being said, shall clause 25 carry?
Yes.
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Ms. de Brussen,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui, désolé, mute est difficile.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Champoux,
Oui.
Ms. McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause carried, clause 25. Now to clause 26. Shall clause 26 carry?
No.
Yes.
Madam Clerk.
Miss de Brussen,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 26 carried. We're now into a new clause. It's 26.1. If we follow along, I'd like to we have CPC 13. CPC 13. Now, folks, this one deals with amendments to subsection 71.3 of the Act, which is not amended by the bill. And in particular, right, if in particular we're talking about the corporation or CBC Radio Canada. So whether or not they are compelled to provide new information to its report to Parliament. On 771 of House of Commons procedure practice, it states an amendment is inadmissible if it proposes to amend a statute that is not before the committee or a section of the parent act, Broadcasting Act, unless the latter is specifically amended by a clause of the bill. So the bill goes, if I could put it this way, slightly beyond its reach, meaning that by saying yes in second reading to Bill C10, we've accepted its principle, but we've also accepted its scope of the bill. And this particular measure does go beyond the scope of the bill. Therefore, I have to rule that CPC 13 is inadmissible. I'm just dramatic pausing. Okay. So that brings us to clause 27. Shall clause 27 carry?
Oui.
No. No.
Madam
Oui.
Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Shampoo,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 27 carried. Shall clause 28 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Shampoo,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 28 carried. Now, folks, could I just get everyone's attention for a moment? One of the things we tend to do in clause by clause similar to this is that if we have several clauses in a row, we can lump them together into one vote. Right now, I have clause 29, 30, 31, and 32 with no proposed amendments from our amendment package, not from PV either. We can lump them together into one vote, but to do that, I would need unanimous consent to do that. So, and this will also come up again later on in the bill, but I haven't done it yet, but it just occurred to me that it can be done. So I'll put it in front of the committee. So for clauses 29 to 32, they would be voted on at once. Do I have unanimous consent to proceed that way?
Yes.
No. No.
Come on, guys.
Shall clause 29 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Shampoo,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 29 carried. Shall clause 30 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Shampoo,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause 30 carried. Shall clause 31 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Miss de Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Shampoo,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the clause 31 carried. Shall clause 32 carry?
Yes.
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Miss de Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Mr. Shampoo,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 32 carried. That brings us to clause 33. Now, within the package that you have, we have G17 as put forward by Mr. Lewis. Shall G17 carry?
Yes.
Attends. Pom, 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 pom.
Sorry. Yes, Mr. Reyes.
Je vous avertis, Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Chairman, we're going to be voting in favor, just to let you know.
Je vous avise à l'avance pour être.
I'm giving you a heads up to avoid some cardiac incident.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Just sometimes we go on autopilot a little too long, and then all of a sudden something like this happens. Nevertheless, I declare that G17 is carried with a great deal of enthusiasm, I might add. It's no reflection on you, Mr. Myers. Shall clause 33 as amended be carried?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 33 as amended carried. That brings us to, for a new clause, 33.1, we now go to, as put forward by Mr. Lewis, G. Dean. Shall G. Dean carry?
Yes.
Well, I declare G. Dean carried. As amended, no, A18, that's right. Now we go to clause 34. All right, clause 34. Shall clause 34 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 34 carried. Shall clause 35 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Oui.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 35 carried. Shall clause 36 carry?
Yes.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Yes.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 36 carried. Shall clause 37 carry?
Yes. Looks like a yes.
Madam,
No.
Suspense.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Miss de Brusen,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 37 carried. Clause 38,
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Nope.
Madam Clerk.
Miss de Brusen,
Yes.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Monsieur Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 38 carried. Clause 39, shall it carry?
Oui.
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Miss de Brusen,
Oui.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 39 carried. Shall Clause 40 carry?
Mm-hmm.
Oui.
No.
Okay. Cool.
No.
Okay. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Brusen,
Oui.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 40 carried. Shall Clause 41 carry?
No.
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
No.
Mr. Brusen,
Oui.
Madame Bessette,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 41 carried. Shall Clause 42 carry?
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson.
Oui.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
Miss Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Shields.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 42 carried. Shall Clause 43 carry?
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
No.
Mr. Bruson.
Oui.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
Miss Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Shields.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 43 carried. Shall Clause 44 carry?
Oui.
No. No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson.
Oui.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
Miss Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Shields.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 44 carried. Shall Clause 45 carry?
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson.
Oui.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
Miss Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Shields.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Champoux.
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare Clause 45 carried. Shall Clause 46 carry? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson.
Oui.
Madame Bessette.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Oui.
Miss Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 46 carried. Now, that brings us to 46.1. And within 46.1, just to break a little bit of the monotony of the straight clauses, we have before us from Mr. Manley, it's PV 27N. PV 27N. Let's give you a bit of time. Okay. Shall PV 27N carry?
No.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
No.
Madame Bassett,
No.
Mr. Housefather,
No.
Miss Ian,
No.
Mr. Lewis,
No.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
2 yeas, 9 nays.
I declare the amendment negatived. Okay, folks, that now brings us to BQ 37, Mr. Champoux, and you'll be honored to know that you will be the last amendment. BQ 37. Shall BQ 37 carry?
Oui.
No.
Despite the enthusiasm, we have to go to a recorded vote. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
No.
Madame Bassett,
No.
Mr. Housefather,
No.
Miss Ian,
No.
Mr. Lewis,
No.
Monsieur Reyes,
Oui.
Mr. Aitchison,
Yes.
Mr. Shields,
Yes.
Mr. Waugh,
Yes.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Good luck for our next vote.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
6 yeas, 5 nays.
I declare the amendment carried.
Quelle belle façon de terminer ça.
What a great way to end this, Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Which brings us to the end of that. That's quite a dismount, Mr. Champoux. Shall clause 47, as amended, carry?
Yes.
No.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, sorry, Mr. Miller.
clause 47 was not amended. It was just a BQ 37 was just creating a new clause 46.1.
46.1. My apologies. You know what? I was so enthusiastic for Mr. Champoux. I can't even begin to describe how disorienting it was, other than the
You
fact
were
that I
doing so
forgot
great.
where I was in the place. I know, I get that a lot. Nevertheless, let me rephrase that. Let me back up just a moment, everyone. Shall clause 47 carry?
Yes.
No.
I'm seeing Mr. Waugh viciously wag his head back and forth. Therefore, I'm going to have to call for a vote. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Oui.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui. Pardon.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare clause 47 carried. Okay, here's a big question. Shall the title carry?
Yes.
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 No.
Oui.
Did I hear no?
No.
No.
Oh,
It was a yes.
okay. There we go. The title is carried.
Monsieur le
Shall-
Président, Monsieur le Président, il y avait un nom.
Mr. Chair, there actually was a no.
Nous avons entendu
Oh.
un non.
We did hear a no.
Because I said, did I hear a no? And someone said no. So I took that as the double negative. I apologize. Let me just back up for a moment. Would we like a recorded vote? I can see a thumbs up for a recorded vote.
Oui. Absolutely.
Yes, please.
You may be on the right path there, Mr. Aitchison. Let me just say what the question was again. Shall the title carry? Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Oui.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Definitely yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the title carried. Shall the bill as amended carry?
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Oui.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Yes.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields,
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the bill as amended carried. Shall the chair report the bill as amended to the House?
Oui.
Oui.
No.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson,
Oui.
Madame Bassett,
Oui.
Mr. Housefather,
Oui.
Miss Ian,
Yes.
Mr. Lewis,
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes,
No.
Mr. Aitchison,
No.
Mr. Shields. Mr. Shields?
No.
Mr. Waugh,
No.
Monsieur Champoux,
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
I declare the reporting of the bill as amended to the House carried. Shall the committee order a reprint of the bill as amended for the use of the House at report stage?
Oui.
No.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Bruson.
Oui.
Madame Bassett.
Oui.
Mr. Housefather.
Yes.
Miss Ian.
Yes.
Mr. Lewis.
Yes.
Monsieur Reyes.
No.
Mr. Aitchison.
No.
Mr. Shields.
No.
Mr. Waugh.
No.
Monsieur Shampoo.
Oui.
Miss McPherson.
Yes.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
And we shall order a reprint of the bill as amended for the House of Commons at report stage. Colleagues, that brings us to an end. I said at the beginning that maybe this will be so exciting that we could sell the rights to Netflix. I was kidding at the time. I'm not sure if I'm kidding anymore. This has been quite an
Français, s'il vous
adventure.
plaît, Monsieur le Président. En contenu francophone.
Ah oui,
Original.
oui, c'est vrai.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience. I want to thank, in particular, our table staff, our legislative clerk, our clerks here in the House, our committee clerks, in particular, Amy and Philippe. Thank you so much. Emily, I think you have you there somewhere as well. And of course, our analysts from the Library of Parliament. Thank you so much as well. Finally, I'd like to say hello and thank you to everybody who has been watching. I know sometimes going through this can be frustrating if you're trying to keep track of this. I have some suggestions as to how this could be done in the future to provide a clear viewing as to what's going on. And I hope my colleagues will support me on that, if I may be so biased for a moment, perhaps doing something like showing amendments on the screen or something of that nature. Nevertheless, I'll leave it at that. There's a lot of things to learn from this. Thank you for your patience, everybody. That being said, oh, I see Monsieur Shampoo. Go ahead.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Chairman, clearly it's up to you to have the final word. However, I have a question. Do you know when this precious document will be tabled in the House? Because I feel that some of our colleagues here will want to work their schedules around so that they can be in the House when this is tabled.
Mentioned before, thank you for that, Mr. Shampoo. As mentioned before, it is going to be in short order once we get the reprint done and back into the House and the early part. At that point, it's going to be up to the government House leader. I'll just leave it at that for now because I don't want to give you, I can give you an approximate time, but I don't think that it might get pushed beyond that. So I'd rather not give you a time right now. Perhaps the legislative clerk can walk us through the reprint from here. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Monsieur Shampoo, comme vous le savez, il y a beaucoup de projets.
Thank you, Mr. Shampoo. As you know, there are many bills before committee now which are just about done, and all these bills are actually all at the same stage at the same time, namely printing. So it may take a little longer than usual. And with C10, there are a lot of sub-amendments, so it'll take even longer to finish it up. That said, we will try to get all of this done by Monday or Tuesday at the latest. So we'll work as much as we can this weekend on that.
By then, and then it goes back to the order of the House. And by the way, we have a meeting on Monday. I'll update you at the very beginning of the meeting as to the progress of the reprint of C10 back to the House for report stage. Ms. McPherson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just wanted to very quickly say that I wanted to confirm that we were going to be meeting on Monday, because I will be bringing forward my motion that I think has been shared with the committee. But I also did want to thank you very much. I know this hasn't been a very easy process to chair over the past few weeks and months. So thank you for all of your efforts on that part.
Thank you, Ms. McPherson. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you so much. One final bit of business, though. I did give word to Mr. Waugh that I would talk about his motion if he so desires, if he wishes to move it. We have about 12 minutes left in this meeting. Mr. Waugh, go ahead.
Yeah,
you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. So we did send out the notice of motion on Wednesday, June the 9th. And if you will let me read into the record that the committee invite officials from the Department of Canadian Heritage to testify about the funding for the discovery of the remains of 215 Indigenous children on the grounds of a former residential school in Kamloops, and what would be required to extend these efforts to all residential schools where unmarked graves may exist. And that Chief Rose of the Kamloops Tswapik First Nation be invited to committee to discuss the process of obtaining funding and how sufficient it was relative to the task and what remains to be done. So I move my motion. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And thank you, Mr. Waugh. I think we've all heard it quite clear what the motion involves, what it entails, what it is about. Do I see any discussion on the motion?
No, just quickly, Mr. Chair, I think that this is a good study, and it's it tells a little bit about the funding from Heritage that was given on to the Path to Healing on this, and what we can learn from it. So just to thank him for the study.
Okay, thank you, Ms. DeBruzen. Seeing no further comments on that, we now go to a vote on the motion from Mr. Waugh. Just one second, Mr. Waugh. I'm being. Okay, so the work on the reprint is has begun already. There you go. That's a nice little update. So let's go to the vote on the motion from Mr. Waugh. You've all heard it. All those in favor of the motion? Any dissension? Seeing none, motion is passed. Congratulations, Mr. Waugh.
Thank you.
Well said. Okay, that being said, without any further business to attend to, it is Friday. It is later in the day. Thanks everyone again for your patience and for thousands of you listening on the internet web. Internet web, listen to me, I sound like I'm ancient. For those of you listening to our webcast, thank you so much. And we shall see everyone on Monday.
Mr. Chair, thank you so much.
Thank you.